finally getting this car right here tomorrow, as well as a brand new electric Pikes Peak car, and in the Crew 2. Just a week after these two things, we're getting count them, three brand new Porsches in the game that then will be added to the Crew Motorfest a little bit later, but we'll talk about that in a minute. First, let's begin with what's coming to the Crew Motorfest, because that one is right around the corner. First and foremost, it's this thing. Look, people were confused about this thing when it first came out. They didn't understand why it was far away, why it was in the store but you couldn't buy it. Well, it's because it's Year 1 Pass, and it's coming out in the Year 1 Pass tomorrow in the third Year 1 Pass cars of this update. The final Year 1 Pass cars for this update. I'm looking forward to it, honestly. I'm really looking forward to getting this thing finally, because if you didn't know, I interviewed Scotto from Hoonigan. And in that interview, I asked him, hey, Scotto, I'd like to do a this versus that in Motorfest, but you pick the cars. And, well, he picked this thing. And, well, you know, that was 2-3 months ago. And this thing wasn't in the game yet. And then some other car, but that one was in the game. So I've had to wait 2 months. 2 months to do a video, and it's been this car that I've been waiting for. The wild thing is, and I hope they don't do this again, you've been able to drive this car since it came out. Since the start of this update, you've been able to drive this car, which has just felt so icky, right? Like, sure, it's a new car now that it's being added in the Year 1 Pass, but we've had this thing for how long now? So long. Especially considering it's just been sat in the shop, rotting away for the last little while. And there we go. But what's the other car coming out? Well, not even tomorrow, tonight. Overnight, tonight. Well, that is this thing right here. The Volkswagen, it says electric R, which is not the name of that car. The car's the ID.R. We're getting the Volkswagen ID.R in the game tonight. Now, looking at it, I would assume this is going to be in racing. It's got slick tires, it's a racing car in real life, and it's not got open wheels, which would make it Alpha GP instead of racing. This is most likely going to be in racing, and if it's true to its real-life version, this thing will be one of the best handling cars in racing. It should be the best handling car in racing. It shouldn't slide for even a second, and it should also not have a great top speed. It should have a very, very stinky top speed. It's a car made for Pikes Peak. This is the car. I'm looking forward to its engine sound as well, because as you can hear,
through the first corner,
it's got one of those goofy sounding EV engines, which of course the Crew Motorfest is known for emphasizing. If it's got even a slight EV sound, the crew will go over the top and give it a little, you know? And I will say, it's a cool looking car. That's the car we're getting in the game, like, literally tonight. The first of 2 cars out of this list of not 5, but 7. Well, 8 if you count something else. See, because just like the Audi Scotto, a car that has been in game, but now we're finally going to be able to buy it and drive it, this car is finally coming out tonight as well. If you got Platinum in this summit, you can now drive this car right here, which I will say, it's kind of grown on me. I kind of like it now. I didn't like it originally, but it's kind of nice. It's fun. It's a nice car. Hang on. See, you can even hit a little Testarossa bump nicely. I'm sold on this car. It's a good car. I'm going to say it. I'm going to say it. This is a good car in my opinion, and it releases tonight if you got Platinum. But what are the cars coming to the Crew 2? Well, this is the Mad Update official announcement. Way back when, we got all the way down here a few things. Just all of the cars that we're gonna get in the update. In fact, the ones that aren't here are on the news page for the Crew 2, right down here. The Land Rover Defender and the Audi RSQ8 there. But on top of that, there is also 3 other cars in this list that are coming out February 14th. So not tonight, a week from now. Those are the Porsche 356, which presumably is going to be in street, obviously. The 911 Carrera RS27, which looks beautiful, I must say. And it's going to be interesting to see what they do with this one, because, of course, this has a bit of rally heritage and a bunch of different colorways that you can get, like the green and the blue. It's going to be interesting to see if they allow us to change that in official colors somehow. I'm looking forward to it. And then finally, the 959. Now, the thing is, we already have the 959. So my thinking is that this is going to be the street version, right? Because it's listed as street. And when these come to the Crew Motorfest, which they will likely come in March with all the other cars, because they have confirmed that the Audi RSQ8, the Gordon Murray T50, are going to be coming to the Crew Motorfest with Season 3. The only ones they haven't confirmed are those two Rallycross cars, as well as the Mad Edition and the Basalt Edition. Those are the ones we don't have confirmed officially. This thing, well, the street version of this thing, will likely be confirmed for March as well. Same with the other two Porsches that we'll get coming to the Crew Motorfest. Remember, the Crew 2 is getting its final update soon, so I think they just want to get it all out of the way with, frankly. And when they come to the Crew Motorfest, I'm expecting this one to be Street Tier 1, obviously. This one to also be Street Tier 1, simply because there's another Porsche very similar, new one, that is in Street Tier 1. And then this thing, I'm gonna say Street Tier 2. For a few reasons. If we filter by Porsche real quick, this is the car that makes me think that the other one I said is going to be Street Tier 1. And then this is the car that makes me think that the 959 is going to be Street Tier 2. I don't know if they're going to keep that consistency, but the turbo being in Street Tier 2, that's like surely the 959 is as well then, right? It's a sleek looking old school Porsche. I'm just saying. And finally, returning from the Motor Pass in the Crew 2 next week, also February 14th, is the Celine Icebreaker Edition from the Forsberg Motor Pass, which, again, both of these cars that I'm about to talk about, you can go onto the Crew 2, buy them on the Crew 2, and then they'll be in your Crew Motorfest catalog instantaneously if you've transferred your cars. So, if you don't own this thing, these are also cars that you're going to be able to buy next week on February 14th, along with all the Porsches. And you not only can buy this cold Celine, but you can buy this cold Celine, the Celine Glacier Edition. This was in, I want to say, Into the Blizzard update, and is also just a pretty chilly Celine. I mean, if we had a penny for every time we got two cold Celines, we'd have 2 pennies, which isn't a lot, but it's weird that it happened twice. So there you go, 2 new cars in Motorfest tomorrow, as well as a Summit car finally received tomorrow. Then just 1 week after that, within 7 days, we get 3 brand new Porsches to the Crew 2. And on top of that, 2 returning Chili Boy Chalines. Thank you to popular members, especially thank you to famous members, and an insane thank you to star members Danimal, the Manimal, Grim Pepper, and Extreme Speed. And an insane top of the top thank you to Icon members HK and Extreme Speed again. See you boys in a bit.